Cue the energy, cue the hype, because WrestleMania season is upon us, and that means it's time for another episode of Wavymania, the Road to WrestleMania prediction show. I am Nerdy D, alongside me, my guy, the self-proclaimed Nostradamus of pro wrestling, Wavy D. What's up, man? Each week, we're going to break down our vision for WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas, laying out the matches, the stories, and the chaos we believe WWE is building towards. Here's the catch. Each week, we get a chance to update our cards, so buckle up because the road to WrestleMania is full of detours, swerves, and last-minute changes. And by the time we get to Vegas, we will see if me and Wavy D are cooking or if we have some explaining to do. This is Wavymania, and it starts right now. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. What's up, man? Sorry about last week. I ended up eating some real weird shit. Ended up in the hospital. It wasn't fun. You're good now.
No worries.
But I think that extra week gave me a little bit of clarity coming into this week. We had a little pre-talk before we started. You're holding pretty steadfast on our original predictions.
Well, no, so the predictions I was coming into last week. Before
Okay.
Before you ate the food.
That makes sense. So not the ones from the first recorded episode, but you came up with a list for last week and you held pretty firm through this week. Okay, that makes more sense. I'm more comfortable. When you said the original, I had looked at. Let's recap our first episode's matches here. We had Bianca and Naomi versus Jade and Jordan, which we'll talk about in a minute. We had Cena versus Sheamus versus Braun Breaker. We had Charlotte versus Tiffany. We had the Creeds versus the War Raiders. We had Finn versus Damian. We had a 6-man between Gable, Andrade, Shinsuke, Santos, Carmelo, and LA Knight. We had Io and Rhea. We had Jay and Gunther. We had Lyra and Becky, Street Profits and Motor City Machine Guns, DIY and Los Lotharios. We had Chelsea taking on Piper. We had Penta versus a mystery. We didn't call out who that was. We had Cody and CM Punk, Roman and Drew, KO and Sammy versus Seth and Randy, Solo versus Jacob, and Dom, Logan, and Liv versus Ray, Zelina, and Bad Bunny. Where do we want to start? Because I feel like we have to tear that apart.
So I went a slight step further and I broke it into night 1, night 2.
Okay, so we're already going there. I didn't expect to get to that for a couple of weeks, but let's go. Let's lay it out. Night 1 and night 2. It's starting to take shape here.
So I'll start at the bottom of the card. They're like the smallest of the things.
Okay.
It's not gonna happen first. It's gonna be like a breather in the middle of the show.
Okay.
I have a Waller effect. Little talk show.
Okay.
And I think they're talkity talk brings out the return of Omos.
Interesting. Okay. Don't know that I saw that coming. That's a little bit out of left field. I thought you were going to say a Waller effect leading to Austin Theory and Grayson Waller after what happened on NXT.
Well, so what happened on NXT, from what I can gather, from what I saw, they pretended to break up to throw off Trick and whatnot.
But it felt like there was some underlying real tension that they're building towards. But Omos, we're getting Omos back.
Yeah, we're getting Omos back at WrestleMania.
Okay. I'm not mad at it. I like Omos. I've watched some interviews with Omos, and my opinion has changed vastly on that man.
He's coming back soon. He relinquished that tag title he had to the Freebird rule.
Okay.
He said he enjoyed his time and that he's leaving Japan.
All right, didn't know that. That's interesting. I like it. That came out of left field. Not on my. I have 14 on my card, and that's not on my card. What else we got?
Next up, I have Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor.
Okay. I like that. And this is a departure from the first week we had we had Finn versus Damian, which we decided with the moving of shows probably not working. Mm-hmm. I like this. This makes sense.
There's some cooking that can be done here, because I saw someone posted on TikTok, and it got me thinking a little bit. With AJ Styles returning to Monday Night Raw, and him and Dominic had like that little face off in the back.
Sure.
If you recall, before like AJ got hurt and Liv got hurt and Finn joined the Judgment Day, it was Finn, AJ, and Liv Morgan.
Yes.
Trying to take down the Judgment Day.
Yes, there was the teases of that, so we could circle. Okay, not mad at that.
I think there might be a world where AJ and Finn and Liv kind of boot Dom out of the Judgment Day.
Ooh.
And we kind of have like a little new faction on our hands.
Interesting.
More evolving of the Judgment Day.
Interesting. Okay.
The long term, the long con.
I like it. I'm with you on that. I don't have it on my list. It is one I would definitely add to my list because I don't have, as I look at this, I don't have Dom or Finn on my card right now.
The next, I still have the United States ladder match, but I did switch up some of the participants.
Okay, so this is the 6-man, right, that we had going?
Yep. So I still got Shinsuke.
Okay.
LA Knight.
Okay.
Yeah. Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah, makes sense.
Santos Escobar.
Makes sense.
Andrade.
Okay.
And our new 6-man in the match, Jimmy Uso.
Like it. Makes sense. 100% makes sense. He's tied up in all that shit with those guys. LA Knight was somebody I had a hard time placing on my card. I think I had him. Yeah, I like what you're doing here better than what I had LA Knight in a triple threat with Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest, which does for no rhyme or reason other than just some of the backstage shit that's been going on. But I like what you're doing there. I like those 6 make sense.
Now, picture the visual of like Jay win the World Heavyweight title, Jimmy win the United States title.
Ooh, I like that.
2 brothers, they'll be able to win stuff on their own.
I like that a lot. I'm not mad at that.
I'm holding fast on the Solo versus Jacob match.
I have that. You convinced me on that. That's on my 14. On the 14 I have locked in. That is definitely. I think with the return of Solo, he'll do whatever he's got to do with Cody. Probably lose to Cody, which then Jacob goes, "Hey, you're a little bitch. We gotta have some words about this."
Yeah, you're not getting the job done.
Yeah,
OG.
Yeah. Like that. Love that. Absolutely love that.
So one of our marquee matches for night 1, okay?
Okay.
We got John Cena versus Logan Paul.
So I've seen you guys talking about this. I see you guys throwing this around. I'm not sold on this match yet. What has you guys leaning this direction?
So there's a little. So when Logan Paul got eliminated from Royal Rumble,
okay,
he was in character or whatever, but on his way out the ring and going backstage, he was cursing out John Cena, saying John Cena betrayed him. John Cena betrayed him, yada yada. There's some behind the scenes content for his YouTube channel, for other people's YouTube channels, where he just kept bringing up the whole John Cena thing, and he had a YouTube video titled "John Cena Betrayed Me." I think he also had John on his podcast lately.
Okay.
And Logan Paul has a history of kind of working with wrestlers who are on his podcast.
Yeah.
And I don't have John Cena in the title picture. So the next big thing is you have him with one of the top stars, one of the top popular people in the business.
I'll argue Logan's a top star. I think he's a top star right now.
You got Cena, the most loved of the loved.
Sure.
Logan Paul, the most hated of the hated. And
not knowing all that backstage stuff you talked about, and not knowing I don't watch Logan's podcast. Not knowing that sways me a little more. That makes sense. I thought everybody was just pulling this out of left field. And now I'm interested to see something else. I'm not going to say it yet, but I want to see then what you have slotted in for a different match.
And so my next matchup for night 1. So I got 3 matches for night 1 left. This one, we all see coming out is Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn.
I've got that on my card. I think that's pretty locked in at this point.
I think they might see each other in a match at Chamber, but I think it probably ends in in a no result,
some bullshit
kind of disqualification. Yeah, and then we get a stipulation match at Mania, maybe.
Like it. I think it makes sense. I don't understand everybody complaining about it. I think Deep explained it pretty. I think it was We Too Deep explained it. We said it's our Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. There's a rivalry. There's a history. And we can keep going back to that. It's okay. It's comforting.
Exactly. And like we haven't gotten full closure from the two of them since the whole bloodline thing.
Sure. Yeah. There was a lot of unanswered stuff. They just kind of dissipated. So I'm with it.
I still got Tiffany versus Charlotte.
Yeah, I think you're on point there. I've seen nothing to believe that's not the plan.
Facts. And then Jay Uso versus Gunther to main event night 1.
I think you're right. I said this on the pod this week. It's going to be Jay winning and 25 minutes ending the show of that arena just fucking for 25 minutes of this shit.
You eating.
Yeah.
Especially if Jimmy wins the U.S. title earlier that night. And you got the two of them in the ring together.
That would be fun if he comes out and it's a little Uso celebration.
Him and Big Pops, Big Rikishi, ringside.
What does that do to Shinsuke? Well, I mean, what does that say about Shinsuke if he drops the title having really no effect on it?
I mean, I called it from when he first got involved in the U.S. title. I was like, he's gonna win it. There's gonna be no plan for him. It's gonna be wasted. I called it back when he got involved with LA Knight. I didn't want to see Shinsuke win the match at all. I was hoping he would have lost. LA Knight would have kept the title.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
It's like when he wins titles, they don't know what to do. I like the character. I love the new, but he should have stayed away from titles. It should have just been about, he was already on a path of like the commercials, mayhem, right? Just like interrupting main stars. I think he should have stuck with that.
Facts.
All right, so that's night 1. You tied up night 1. I like it. So we're not far off on what we're talking about here, and you actually, I will amend some of my things based on what you said. So night 2, let's start tying this together here.
Yeah, so I guess for night 2, the bomb of my card, I have a Penta, Rey Mysterio, and Dragon Lee on one side.
Okay.
And then I have them facing the New Day and Chad Gable.
Okay.
In a little six-man tag team match.
Okay. Not mad at it. I like it. It makes sense. It ties together everything. Yeah. You're tying up. You're using logic here, and I like logic. You're tying up New Day. I love the rebranding of New Day, so I think they've got to be there. They already got history with Ray. You get Penta in there. Yeah, I like it.
And Chad Gable is still going to the dark mystic arts of Lucha Libre.
Yeah.
I don't know who he's going to. We'll figure it out soon, but...
What if he comes back a Lucha?
Lucha Gable?
Yeah, Lucha Gable.
I mean, I'm not against it. All
right, but I like that.
You got 3 great heels, 3 faces, Lucha the faces. He gets Penta on the card. He's under the wing of Mysterio. He's kind of got the Lucha guys versus the heels.
And they're all exciting. They all can do, it'll be one of those matches with big spots and look over here. I like it. I think it makes sense.
Next I have Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest.
Okay, so we're in the same match. We're in the same thought line there. I just threw in LA Knight because I didn't know what to do with him. But you assume too that they're going to build towards Drew and Damian because they kind of don't have anything to do with the two.
Yep. And I think it's going to stem from stuff that happens in the chamber. One of them eliminates the other.
There's history from last WrestleMania.
And the Royal Rumble because Damian eliminated Drew.
Yeah, so it's all there. That makes sense to me. I've seen like the dirt sheets talk about Drew McIntyre's upset and he doesn't like his booking, but I think that's lately been the Triple H way of throwing everybody off.
Yeah. And let's see. On to the next match. I got DIY.
Okay.
Versus the Profits.
Okay.
Versus Pretty Deadly.
Okay.
Versus Motor City Machine Guns.
Okay, so it's pretty in tune with what we had the first week. You're just interchanging some teams there. I like it. I
took out Los Arios and I'm putting in Pretty Deadly. I could see even dropping down to a triple threat match.
Sure.
And just being DIY, Machine Guns, and Profits.
Yeah. The focus being the Profits and DIY, but getting Motor City Machine Gun on the card. I like the rebranding of the Profits. I thought that little interview they did was fun.
It was smart too. Yeah, it was really good. Next I still got Chelsea Green versus Piper Niven.
Okay. Even with Nikki coming back at I'm holding fast to my idea it's going to be Chelsea and Nikki.
I hope not, just for my sake. I'm not a Nikki fan at all. I'll say this next one. Okay. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns.
Okay, now you're cooking. Now you took a different turn than I've taken here. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. Okay.
Yeah. Get Shield closure finally.
Okay.
You know, especially
I like it.
He put on Roman at the Royal Rumble.
I like it. I definitely like it. I don't think it's happening, but I like it. I would be completely content with it.
No. And then we got the second to last match. Well, so I'm gonna save the women's match.
Okay,
that one has a lot of explaining to do.
Yeah, definitely. That because I asked that question. I don't know. I know where you're going, and I don't know where to go.
So for the men's match, I got Cody Rhodes still versus CM Punk.
Okay.
So this is where I think the favor ties in. Okay.
Okay.
So Roman's not gonna be in the chamber because he's all banged up. He can't qualify, right?
Okay.
So what I think happens is during some shenanigans trying to get one of the wrestlers out, you know, the cage door is open or whatever. I think it comes down to CM Punk and Seth Rollins.
Okay.
I think, you know, the two that are left in the ring. I think Roman finds his way in, spears Seth Rollins.
Oh.
And he's like, "There's your favor we owed you." And then
I like this. I like this, Wavy.
We still got that favor that Paul Heyman got that has to give back to CM Punk. So there's that. There's your favor. And then bada bing, bada boom, CM Punk pins Rollins. And then we got Rollins versus Roman Reigns at Mania, and CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes.
I like it. I'm not mad at it. I think I prefer your story over what I have on my card.
What's your story?
I just think it's going to be Cena versus Rhodes. I think they're going to do the passing of the torch. I think that's going to be. If you want my entire story, I don't think Logan's on the card.
Okay.
I think it's Cena versus Rhodes, and I think it ends with Logan interfering and costing Cena the title, which builds to Logan versus Cena either at Backlash or farther down the road. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
I have Punk versus Rollins. So I still think we're getting Rock and Roman, Wavy. Everything that's happened smells to me like Triple H's misdirection. What I think happened is Rock couldn't commit to multiple dates. So I think they're going to sell us on the idea that it's Punk. What am I doing? Punk Rollins and Roman in a match. But at the last minute, we're going to get a swerve where The Rock comes in and interrupts again, which will give him more heel heat and pull Roman away to a different match. I still am banking on that. I just find it hard to believe that The Rock is passing up a moment in wrestling to have this match in Las Vegas.
I think
you only got to commit. You only got to commit for like 2 weeks if you do it this way.
I was holding on to the Roman Rock stuff for a little while, but I'm to the point where I gotta move off of it. If anything, I'll put off the SummerSlam, but I gotta get off of it. They're not panicking on ticket sales, right? The tickets aren't selling the way they thought they were. They're not panicked. You're seeing no need. I think they know The Rock is in their back pocket. My problem is, if I wasn't doing Rock and Roman, then I'm going to do Roman and Drew McIntyre. To me, that makes more sense. And they're not giving any inkling that that's going to happen. I have a hard time believing that Roman gets to be an afterthought at WrestleMania. I think there's plans for him. I have Gunther and Jay. I have Charlotte and Tiffany. I have Bianca and Naomi versus Liv and Raquel. I think that's
That's happening. I have Sheamus versus Braun Breaker. I think Sheamus is winning the IC title at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
I have KO versus Sammy. I have Drew versus Priest. I had LA Knight, but I want to take him out because I liked your plan way better with the 6-man. I have Chelsea and Nikki Bella. I have Solo and Jacob. I have Penta versus Gable, just straight up. Maybe Mysterio and those guys are in the corner, but I think this whole journey will culminate in a one-on-one with Penta. And then
I must have missed that. I think I got Breaker and Sheamus as well. I think I skipped over that.
Okay. And then I have DIY versus Street Profits, and I'm with you. You could sprinkle in other teams into that match however you want to, but the focus will be those two teams. So I'm interested. I don't have Rhea on my card right now because I absolutely don't know what to do with her.
Here's what's going to happen.
Okay. School me here.
So I don't know if you know or not, but they announced that Rhea's going to be facing Io Sky for the title, the Raw after Chamber.
So I assumed that this meant no Rhea versus Io at WrestleMania. If you have different plans, let me know.
I'm committed to Rhea versus Io.
Okay.
At Mania.
Okay. How do we get there though?
Maybe even a triple threat match.
Okay, take me on this journey.
So this will work out a whole lot better if they had the title shot before Chamber.
Sure.
Because initially I thought it was before Chamber.
Okay.
I was thinking Io gets screwed over in her one-on-one match, and then like Raquel gets at Chamber, Raquel gets taken out backstage. Io takes her spot,
slides in,
or Raquel and Liv take out like Roxanne Perez backstage.
Makes sense.
And then Io takes Roxanne's spot. But with the match happening after Chamber, I think you have like I guess I gotta say Liv Morgan wins the Chamber. And then you have Liv versus Io versus Rhea. Or it's tough. Because having Io versus Rhea the Monday night after Chamber feels so stupid.
Yeah,
because
it doesn't. I'm with you.
Like, you don't take the title for Rhea going into Mania, that close to Mania, unless you got some big swerve in your back pocket. I think the match I think the match ends with like a no contest or disqualification, and Io's her chances got screwed over again, and I think just to spite Liv Morgan, who's probably gonna be the one that cost her the match, I think
she gets inserted.
Adam Pearce makes a triple threat match, and that they'll probably even put more tension between Io and Rhea. And I think I'm gonna settle on this. I'm gonna settle on triple threat match: Io Sky versus Rhea versus Liv Morgan.
Okay, let me ask you this, because you just put some things in my head here. What if the title match is all bullshit? What if that is the swerve, that it's not happening? What if that is, so that my immediately thoughts went to, this means no Io, but what if everything you said earlier about Io getting inserted into the Elimination Chamber, we assume that's not going to happen based on the idea that there's a title match 2 days later. But
okay.
What if we get to Elimination Chamber, Raquel gets taken out and back, and Triple H, we cut to the back, kind of like the bullshit I Show Speed, and he's like, Io, I know you had a title shot on Monday, but you're number 6. Go. And then we're all thrown off because I actually like that, and that you put that in my head, because that throws us off of the scent. We're all like, that's a stupid idea. And it really, on paper, seems stupid, but it's a great idea if it's a smoke screen.
Okay. I like that idea. I like that.
And it gets us to the destination you're talking about. Because honestly, at this point, I don't think there is another match that makes sense outside of Rhea Ripley and Io Sky.
The other participants in the chamber are Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair. Bianca. We're still waiting for the Jade and Naomi.
So could it be Jade that comes back and takes out Bianca?
Ooh, and doesn't let her get in the chamber, and then that also saves Belair a pin.
Sure,
from getting
right,
pinned.
Right. Takes her out or is Bianca just found in the back and they don't tell us who it is?
Like
and now we start pointing fingers. Is it Naomi? Is it Jade? Was it Payback? Hey, we're cooking here, Wavy. We're cooking. Yes. We're on to something here.
Alexa Bliss, even though she's come back, she's popular. She's not, story ready, ring ready. She's still a little rusty.
Yeah, I said this the other day. She's a tough booking right now because she's so over without any story that immediately whoever you put her against has almost got to be a heel.
Yeah.
So I don't think it makes sense for Rhea to put Rhea and Alexa in a ring together. You're just going to pull the crowd apart.
Yeah, and she still has like the shades of like the Fiend, Howdy kind of stuff going on. But they're over on SmackDown now, so I don't know what's going on.
Well, she's on SmackDown too.
Oh, Alexa's on SmackDown now too?
Yeah, she's on SmackDown. So she had a match on SmackDown, and it did the little bzz, bzz, bzz shit. So obviously, she's in the Wyatt 6.
And we got Raquel versus Raquel and Roxanne have a qualifying match on Raw this upcoming Monday.
I think Roxanne wins that. I'll say.
And then to get payback, maybe Raquel injures her at Chamber.
No, I think it's Bianca.
I think it's
Bianca.
Hurt?
I think what you said, protecting her for not taking the pin, and it furthers Bianca's story of like now it's a murder mystery, right? Who did it in what room with what weapon? It's Clue, right? We don't know if Jade's back, which could then lead to Jade and Bianca if they want to, or is it Naomi orchestrating this whole thing? Which then you could easily have Bianca and Naomi drop the titles and do like a Bianca and Naomi at WrestleMania.
And then we got Naomi versus Chelsea in a qualifying match.
Yeah, so interesting.
I mean, I don't think either of those two women are winning it.
I don't either. They're filler for the match, but it could the Naomi could add some interesting elements to this. I'm now sold on this idea that Io is going to be in the chamber.
Yes.
All right, man. I'm back in. So I think we're sniffing out the right path now.
Yes.
Week 1 we had to throw some things on the table. Are we leaving anybody out? That's the only thing I worry about.
I mean, what to do with Liv unless she's involved in that Damian Dom situation. Nia Jax is another person who's kind of lost in the wind. I think Bayley does some NXT stuff.
Yeah, Liv, I mean, it feels like they could slide some kind of battle royal bullshit onto the card for Liv to win or something like that, or a 6-man. It feels like they could sneak something in on the card that does get the Nias and the Livs. But I think there's just too many people this year that somebody's going to get left off. We had this conversation. Somebody's getting left off.
I think the men's side, we kind of got everybody that's worth getting in there.
I mean, I think there's a reality where like these tag matches happen on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And they're just not on the big card. And then that opens up a couple spots for some other matches.
When, I guess, interesting question is, when do you see Randy coming back? At what point?
Is he a night after Mania thing?
I could see it.
Or
a SmackDown after Mania.
Kevin Owens wins, or whatever, and the night after Randy's back to mess him up.
Yeah,
something like that. I don't think there's any rush to get him back on this card.
Yeah.
You have him. He'll be at the festivities. He could sign the autographs, take the pictures. But I don't think there's any reason to rush him back. So I think probably night after Mania for Ray. Well, how about this last thing here? How about like Rusev in some of these people?
I don't think Rusev comes back to WWE. If anything, I think he might go to TNA. I don't really see a need for Rusev right now.
What about NXT though?
I mean, if Rusev wants to do that.
So you're talking about just picking up
Obafemi?
You're talking about picking up a paycheck to I mean, at this point in Rusev's career, I don't foresee like world title runs. So if you came back and worked yourself into like a mentorship in NXT that ended up being like long-term security kind of being around the guys and being in the company. I could see that. I think it's interesting. I think that's the same for like Aleister Black and those guys. I think they could show up in NXT and it'd be exciting.
Well, I can see Aleister being like in a story right away, kind of being involved in the action because he was still doing good stuff over in AEW.
Yeah,
Rusev / Miro just disappeared from TV for like a year and a half.
Yeah, I could see. I mean, well, we'll see. You got anything else?
Let's see. I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So knowing that we're both going to Mania, okay, we're gonna be in Las Vegas and whatnot. Is there any wrestler that you're looking forward to possibly seeing at like an expo or trying to get an autograph or a picture with?
Britt Baker. I don't know why. I feel like she gets shit on all the time. I feel like the attitude is always negative. Everything that I read about her that everybody's like, oh, I don't like this. I'm kind of like, oh, that's how I would be. Like, I would be pissed off if I started a company and went through the grind and then all of a sudden your boss went and did everything that he said he wasn't going to do. He signed every Sasha Banks and Tony Storm and made them the feature. I'd be pissed off too. I wouldn't have a real happy disposition. So I think Britt Baker, and I've just always kind of liked Britt Baker.
Well, and then a little fun question. Do you think that you're on the radar of any wrestlers that, like, who might watch your content secretly? So like if they see you, they'll be like, hey, you're Nerdy D.
I don't think so. I think I was so negative early on that everybody tuned me out. I think I appeal more to people who are disgruntled with wrestling than people like I don't blow enough smoke up people's asses to I feel like the podcasters who get attention from the wrestlers are the ones who are just like falsely optimistic about everything. I like to think of myself as like a man of the people. I'm bitching and complaining all the time. I mean, I've had interactions with fucking Saraya and BFAB, but like the BFAB one was funny. I said I didn't know if she was fucking in her 20s or her 40s, and she thought that was funny. The Saraya shit, she got pissed off because I said she was afraid to take a bump or something like that. But yeah, I don't think so.
Low key, we're walking through the expo and like Dominic Mysterio, he's like, "Hey, is that Nerdy?"
I'm clocking him. I'm clocking him. I'm going into business for myself, right on the spot. I don't care. He may be all positive. I'm just taking him down. I'm ending up on fucking TV.
Yeah. We gotta lock in the interview in the hotel room with one of these wrestlers.
Let's figure it out. Let's figure it out. We can make something happen. Should probably apply for some press passes. I didn't think about that. I'll do that. See if I can get us 2 or 3 press passes where we can just wander around and do bullshit.
I think one of the main expos is happening at my hotel that we're looking to go to.
Okay.
The Westgate. From what I can tell, there's supposed to be like some WrestleCon there.
Which is, that to me looks like the most fun is WrestleCon. Because it's, the WWE one's fun, but it's so structured. You have to have a ticket for everything. WrestleCon seems more like it's a little wild. Like it's the Wild West. Guys are just walking around and you could bump into somebody.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
I want to see Simon Miller.
Who?
Simon Miller.
I don't even know who that is.
He's a YouTuber / indie wrestler.
Okay.
Who he does like Raw and SmackDown reviews every week.
Okay.
And he gives the good bits and up and the bad bits and down.
Okay.
And and then usually like one segment a week gets the gold and up. All right.
I'll have to check this dude out.
Funny guy.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, I think we've got it pretty locked in for this week. We'll have a SmackDown and a Raw before I see you next week.
Yes, sir.
To kind of lock in on. You got anything else before we get out of here?
Let's go Birds. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
champions.
You did it. You did it. Your boys did it.
You know what I'm saying? We gave Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs that smacketh down on them candy asses. Okay.
Ooh, it was nasty. Do the Chiefs? Do they rebound or is this the end?
They can rebound.
You think they can rebound?
As long as Patrick Mahomes is undoubtedly a top 5 quarterback all time. So top 10. We'll say top 10. So the comments don't kill me, but he's top 5.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, this has been another episode of Wavymania with Wavy D and Notorious Nerdy D. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave any questions you have in the comment section, and we will address them next week. As always, stay casual. We are out of here.
Yeah, let's go. Don't stop, yo, no. Show it shows Vegas, baby, high roll, bank roll. Wavy D, Nerdy D, we say so. Rock bottom, hit him with a stunner, that's no problem. Superman punch, yeah, we got him. Throw the ones up, tell me who hotter. Manhandle, Shells Green.